Hi, hello guys. I am your mathematics knowledge coach Vivek, and in this class, we are going to learn about types of angles, triangles, and quadrilaterals in depth. If you focus on this particular class nicely, I'm sure that you're going to get 2 or 3 questions correct, and I can guarantee you about it. So let's start. So let's start with the topic, which is type of angles. So there are 5 basically types of angles: acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, and reflex angle. So basically, angle is nothing but it is something that is formed between two straight lines. Okay. Now, let us study in details about the type of angles. So the first type is nothing but an acute angle. So guys, always remember, acute angle is an angle which is more than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. So what I'll repeat it again. It's more than 0 degree. I'll call this angle as theta and less than 90 degree. So any angle. Now let's say if it is 41 degrees, it is an acute angle. If it is 59 degrees, it is an acute angle. Even if it is 89 degrees, it is an acute angle. Now let's say if we move on to the next type, which is nothing but right angle. Now, what did we study about acute angles? Any angle between 0 and 90 degree is an acute angle. Now, if you have any angle that is exactly equal to 90 degree. So, let's say angle is equal to 90 degree. That means it is nothing but a right angle. So, they will most oftenly look like this and they'll have a small box whenever they form. They can even look like this. Okay, they can change their shapes and their orientation as well. But what is going to be sure, that 90 degree over here. Now if you have understood about 90 degree, please show me a thumbs up guys. So we have understood about acute angle and we have also understood about right angles. So let's move on to the next, which is nothing but obtuse angle. Show me a thumbs up if you have understood about acute and right angle. Come on, Jacob, Daniel, Julie. If you have understood about acute and right angles, just show me a thumbs up. After that, we'll move on to the obtuse angle. Yep, I got it. Now, let's say obtuse angle is an angle which is greater than 90 degree but less than 180 degree. I'll repeat again. The angle is nothing but less than 180 degrees but greater than 90 degree. So what do we have here? We have 120 degree, which is of course greater than 90 degree and less than 180 degree. Now let's say if we have some angle which is nothing but, let's say, 110 degrees. So what will we say? This is an obtuse angle. If we have some angle which is 91 degree, it will be also an obtuse angle. If it is 135 degree, again an obtuse angle. Now let's move on to the next category of angles, which is nothing but a straight angle. A straight angle basically means a straight line, guys. Now this is going to be very important aspect. It's a straight line. This 180 degree. Now you might be having some questions like this. These are two angles, which is A. This is another angle B. So they will ask you angle A plus B is equal to what? So it's nothing but 180 degree. Angle A and B are supplements of each other, which I'm going to explain to you in the next few slides. Now, I think you understood what a straight angle is. A straight angle is nothing but an angle having 180 degrees. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next slide and learn about reflex angles. So, reflex angles. Reflex angles are what, guys? An angle which is less than 360 but more than 180. So if you see here, it is 225 degrees. So if it is 225 degrees, it is of course greater than 180 and less than 360 degrees. So what do we understand? 225 is nothing but a reflex angles. Reflex angle. Now if we have something like 182 degree, it is a reflex angle. 235 degree, it is a reflex angle. 358 degrees, it is also an reflex angle. So I think you have understood about all the types of angles, and we'll try to solve some questions. So exercise. So an angle, I'll solve the first two, the next remaining you guys have to solve it. An angle whose measure is between 0 degree and 90 degree is called dash 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 angle. So it's nothing but an acute angle. So if you remember, I told you that an angle which is less than 90 degree and greater than 0 degrees is nothing but an acute angle. Let's move on to the next question. I'm going to solve one more question. So the second question, an angle whose measure is 90 degree is called dash 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 angles. So if you remember, an angle which measures 90 degrees is nothing but a right angle. Now your time to solve some questions. So here is your question, guys. An angle whose measure is more than 90 degree but less than 180 degree is called dash dash angles. So you can just put the option A, B or C, whether it is acute, right or obtuse. So what is the answer, guys? Please put it in the chat box. So Julie has already answered. Awesome, Julie. It is an obtuse angle. Jacob has also answered. Very good, Jacob. Daniel, I'm waiting for you, buddy. Can you please give me the answer of this question? An angle whose measure is between 90 degree and 180 degree. So what is it called? Come on, Daniel. If you remember clearly, angle between 0 and 90 degree is acute. The angle which is equal to 90 degree is nothing but a right angle, and the angle which is between 90 degree to 180 degree. Yep, you have answered it, and the option is C, which is nothing but obtuse angle. Awesome, guys. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question says a reflex angle is always greater than dash dash but less than 360 degrees. So please write down the answer in the chat box. A reflex angle is always greater than dash dash but less than 360. Jacob, please put it in the chat box. I want you to answer it to me privately. Please do not write it on the screen. Give me the answer in the chat box. Come on, guys. A reflex angle is always greater than dash dash but less than 360. So option C is what Jacob has said. Option C is what Daniel has said. Awesome, guys. So reflex angle is nothing but greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. Now, guys, tell me the answer to this question. Which of the following is an acute angle? 45 degrees, 120 degrees, 305 degrees. Which one of the following is an acute angle? Put the answer in the chat box. ASAP. Fast. Awesome. Jacob has answered. Daniel has answered. The answer is A. 45 degree is nothing but an acute angle. That's awesome, guys. So let's move on to the next part, which is nothing but which of the following is a reflex angle. You need to identify which of the following is a reflex angle over here, whether it is 150 degree, 60 degrees or 320 degrees. I already have an option. That's awesome, guys. Jacob says it is 320. Daniel, do you agree with what Jacob is saying? Daniel, waiting for your response. What is the answer? The answer, okay. Jacob says yes, he's agreeing with Jacob. Awesome, guys. So let's move on to the next part. This is a question from sample paper of your ASVAB math knowledge exam. So this type of question might appear in your exam. So let's read it. Angle AB shown above is an. Now let's say whether it is a supplementary angle, complementary angle, acute angle or obtuse angle. So we haven't learned about complementary and supplementary yet. Let's try to say whether it is acute angle or obtuse angle. So acute angle is what? Basically, acute angle is anything that is less than 90 degrees. So it will lie somewhere over here. And what is obtuse angle? Obtuse angle, it is something that is greater than 90 degree and less than 180 degree. So option, it seems like it is option D. Do you guys agree with me? What's supplementary and complementary? Okay, Jacob is asking what is supplementary and complementary angle. So basically, I will just teach that to you in depth in the next few slides. So hold on. And here is your slide. Here is your question answered. We're going to learn about complementary and supplementary angle. Okay. So Jacob, let's learn about supplementary angles first. Now let's say if two angles are supplementary, that means their sum is going to be equal to 180 degrees. Now, if you observe carefully, this angle 1 and angle 1 and angle 2. As we already know, this is a straight angle, so it's going to be 180 degree. So if I say measurement of angle 1 plus measurement of angle 2, it's going to be equal to 180 degree. That means this pair, angle 1 and 2 are nothing but a supplementary pair. And angle 1 and 2 are supplement of each other. Now, it does not mean that they always need to lie on a straight line. If you see, this 20 degree plus 160 degree is nothing but equal to 180 degree. So 20 degree plus 160 degree is 180 degree. So that means these two are also supplementary pair. Okay, I hope you understood what is supplementary angles. Let's try to solve this question over here. So let's say, as we already know, this is a straight line and the sum is going to be equal to 180 degrees. So how do we solve it? X plus 20 is equal to 180 degrees, right? Now, what do we do? I'll subtract 20 from both the sides. What do we get? X equals to 120, 180 minus 20, which is nothing but 160 degrees. So this angle X is going to be equal to 160 degrees. So this is how we will be able to solve the relation between the supplementary pair. Now, let's solve this question. Can you guys try solving this question on your own and give me the answer? You have 60 seconds, guys. Your time starts now. Find the value of X by writing your equation. This is a straight angle. It's going to be equal to 180 degrees and it's a supplementary pair as well. I already have an answer. Jacob has answered. It's 115 degrees. Daniel has also answered. Awesome, guys. I love the energy of this class. So let's say x degrees plus 65 degrees is going to be equal to 180 degrees. If you subtract 65 from both the sides, what would we get? We would get x equals to 115 degree. Now, complementary angles. What was supplementary angle? If the sum of two angles is going to be equal to 180 degree, then those two angles are known as supplementary angle. Whereas complementary angle is nothing but if two angles are basically summing up or adding up to 90 degrees. That two angles or that pair of angles is known as complementary pair. Look at this. As we already know, this is forming a right angle which is nothing but 90 degree. Therefore, angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. So what do we say? Angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles and they are complement of each other. Okay, now this angle 30 plus 60 is going to be equal to 90 degrees. So they are also complement of each other, or you can say these two angles are complementary angles. Okay, let's move on. There is a way. There is another way to remember it. You can just remember this phrase. It's always right to give compliments. I'll repeat it. It's always right to give compliments. Now, right means what? A right angle which is 90-degree complements. So you can just understand this word complements for complementary angle. So it is always right to give compliments. Yep. Now, Jacob says, right. That's awesome. Let's move on. If you guys observe this question carefully, so here, wherever you see any angle forming a box, that means it is 90 degree. So x plus 15 degrees is equal to 90 degrees. If I subtract 15 from both the sides, what would I get? X will be equal to 90 minus 15, which is nothing but 75 degrees. It was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, let's say this is a type of question that has been asked in the sample paper. So, in the above figure, the sum of angle 1 and angle 2 equals what exactly? You might get this type of question directly in your exam. So what do we have? The sum of angle 1 plus the sum of angle 2 is equal to what? We already know this is a straight angle. Straight angles are nothing but 180 degrees. So here option A is correct. So this marks are very easy to score. Now, if you see this question, this has also appeared in your sample papers. So let us try to understand this question. In the angle AB shown above, angle 1 and 2 are. Angle 1 and 2 are what? They are basically adding up to 90 degrees. So what does that mean? They are complementary. Supplementary means they add up to 180 degree. Complementary means they add up to, not up to, they add to 90 degrees. Okay. They are not both obtuse. Obtuse is greater than 90. They are not both right angles. Right angle. There is a single right angle. Which angle AB is completely forming itself. Let's move on to the next question. Now here, it's not a question basically. Let's move on to the next topic, which is nothing but classifying triangles. So we'll be learning about triangles in depth. Try to understand this. Take down the notes or you can take the screenshots of this, and remember, you might get some questions directly by classifying the triangles. These marks are very easy to score. These questions are like easy peasy lemon squeezy, and you can solve them very easily. So let's say, what is a triangle? A triangle is basically a two-dimensional, three-sided shape. So it has three sides, okay, and it's two-dimensional. So all of you already know this. These are some types of triangles that you guys already know. Now let us try to understand the types of triangle based on their angles. So right triangle. Right triangle means what? There is a right angle present exactly in that triangle. Only one right angle. So this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree, and this is 90 degree. Always remember the sum of interior angles of any particular triangle is equal to 180 degree. If I call this as A and this as B, so angle A plus B plus, let's say if it is 90 over here, I'll write it down as 90. So angle A plus B plus 90 degree is going to be equal to 180 degree. Now, if I didn't know, if it was not 90 degree, let's say if it was C, so angle A plus B plus C will be equal to nothing but 180 degrees. So, What did we understand from this? The sum of interior angles of a triangle is nothing but equal to 180 degrees. Right angle triangle. So right triangles are having one right angle exactly in it. Obtuse triangles. Obtuse triangle, they'll be of course having one obtuse triangle into it. Let's move on to acute triangles. Acute triangles is what? An acute triangle has three acute angles. Each angle must measure less than 90 degrees. If you observe this angle, and this angle, they're all less than 90 degree. Even if you see this angle, and this angle, they're all less than 90 degree. Which type of triangle is this? This is an acute angle triangle. Let's move on. Classifying by side lengths. So all of you must have heard about equilateral triangle. So equi means equal, lateral means sides. Equal sides triangle. So in equilateral triangle, all the sides are nothing but equal to each other. And one more thing, you can just write it down, guys. Three sides are equal and three angles are also equal. As I told you before, all the angles, like if I call this as A, B and C, so A plus B plus C would be equal to 180 degrees. Now if I call this, because all the angles are equal, A is equal to B is equal to C, I'll just write everything as A plus A plus A is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore 3A is equal to 180 degrees. Divide both sides by 3. What do I get? A is equal to 60 degrees. So what did we understand? The equilateral, in an equilateral triangle, we are basically going to have all the angles equal to 60 degree. Equilateral triangle, all sides are equal and all angles are also equal. I hope you understood it. Let's move on to the next type of triangle, which is nothing but isosceles triangle. So isosceles triangle basically has two sides equal and two angles equal. So which are these two sides? This one and this one. And which are the two angles? Exactly opposite to that. So two sides are equal and two angles are equal. Remember, equilateral, three sides equal, three angles equal. Isosceles triangle, two sides equal, two angles equal. Let's move on to the next type of triangle. Scalene triangle. So scalene triangle has no sides equal, no angle equal. That means three sides are different, three angles are also different. So scalene triangle basically has, there are no sides that are equal and there are no angles that are equal in scalene triangle. Okay, I hope you understood what is scalene triangle. Hello, Frederick. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep. So I was just explaining about types of triangles. So we have gone through equilateral triangle, which has, I think you know about equilateral triangle, right? Three sides are equal, three angles are equal. And isosceles triangle, two sides are equal, two angles are equal. Scalene triangle, no sides are equal, no angles are equal. So what kind of triangle is this? So if you observe carefully, this looks like a right triangle to me. Okay? And this is side, this all these three sides are basically different. So what can I say this as? I can say this. It has a right angle and all the sides of different length. So I can say this is a right scalene triangle. Right scalene triangle. That means what? It has a right angle. Scalene means it has all the three sides that are nothing but different in length. Let's move on. Okay. So guys, this question has directly been taken from your sample papers of ASVAB. Let us try to understand what does it say. Triangle ABC shown above is what exactly? If I observe carefully, this sides, they look equal to each other. And what did we know? All sides are equal. What does that mean? It's a equilateral triangle. So option C is correct. Let us try to move on to the next question. Can you guys guess which type of triangle is this? In the chat box, please send me the answer. Triangle ABC, which is shown in the figure above. Which type of triangle is that? You guys have 60 seconds to solve this. Remember, this type of question are confirmly going to be there in your ASVAB exam. These are easy marks to score, easy answers to get. Jacob says can't say. Frederick says A. Okay, guys, if you observe carefully, this side and this side, they are of equal length. And how can I say about it? Look, whenever they say this angle and this angle, if you observe carefully, if they are putting only one arc, that means this angle is equal to this angle. So what can I say? Two angles are equal. So what did I tell you about isosceles triangle? Two sides are equal and two angles are equal. So this is nothing but isosceles triangle. Let me tell you something very interesting. So here guys, you need to understand the sign conventions in triangle. So I'll try to draw few types of triangle now. So here guys, if they are just putting one arc for each of the angle, what does that exactly mean? That means this angle is equal to this angle is equal to this angle. I'll just name them so that it does not look like I'm just firing bullets in the dark. This angle is equal to that angle. This is equal to this. So I'll just say angle A is equal to angle B is equal to angle C. So this is nothing but the like how the symbol for equal angles, as we have this symbol for equal sides. If there is a straight line like this on any line, that simply means this side is equal to AB is equal to BC is equal to AC. That means all these three sides are of equal length. Now let's move on to shape 2. I'll just mark it as X, Y, and Z. Now, if I put a single arc of angle over here and there is another single arc over here, what does that mean? This angle Y is equal to angle Z. And if I say this side is equal to this side, let's say if there is a symbol, a cross line on XY and a cross line on YZ, that simply means XY is equal to XZ. Now let us move on to this triangle which has PQR. Now, none of these sides looks equal to each other. So what do I do if I want to show they are of different lengths? This has 1 mark over here, 2 marks, and 3 marks. So what does that mean? This sides are of different length. Same is for angles. So let's say this has one arc, this is going to have two arcs, and this is going to have three arcs. So if you see any triangle having one, two, or three arcs, it simply means that this is just trying to simplify what is equal to what exactly in symbolic form. Now let me say, in this option or this figure 4, if I put a single arc over here and two double arcs over here, so that simply means in this triangle ABC, it means angle B is equal to angle C, because both of them are having the same number of arcs. And if these two angles are equal, the sides opposite to them are also equal. I hope you understood the symbols about understanding the lengths or different dimensions of triangle. Have you understood it? If you have got it, please write a thumbs up or show me a thumbs up. And if you want me to explain this again, please let me know in the chat box. Daniel, Frederick, Julie, Jacob, if you have understood this, please show me a thumbs up, guys. I have an answer. Daniel got it. Okay, Frederick, did you understand the symbols of triangles? Okay, Jacob says, can you explain PQR again? Okay, buddy, no problem at all. Frederick understood it. So, Jacob, now let's say, if you want me to explain PQR, now here there is a single arc for angle Q. There is a single arc for angle Q. Now, and there is two arcs for angle P. One arc for Q, two arc for P. That simply means angle Q is not equal to angle P. Angle Q is not equal to angle P. And here there are three arcs. It simply means these both are not equal to angle R. If they were having, now see, in this X, Y, and Z, single arc, single arc. That means what? Same angles. Double arc, double arc. That means what? Same angles. Okay. Now, if you see the sides, one mark on it, two marks on it, that simply means the measurement of PQ is not equal to PR, which is not equal to QR. Jacob, did you understand it, buddy? I hope it is clear now. Daniel, did you understand it? Yep, Jacob says yes. Let's move on. Tada! Give me the answer to this question. This question has appeared in your sample papers of ASVAB exam. So there are high chances of questions like this coming directly in your exam. So which type of triangle is shown in the figure? Daniel, Frederick, Julie, Jacob. Frederick says yes. Absolutely right, buddy. Now, if I mark this angles, can you say this as a right? Well, the options are not there because I'm just modifying the question right now. Can you say this as equal to a right isosceles triangle? Can you call it that? Jacob, what do you say? Yes, Daniel says yes. If it was the case, okay? But that is not the case for this. Let's move on. Oh, let me write down the symbols for you over here. Ta-da! Which kind of triangle is this? Frederick, I want you to answer this in 60 seconds, buddy. Which kind of triangle is this? I have just put the markings so that you understand. Jacob, Julie, Daniel, please put your answers in the chat box. Julie says isosceles. Awesome, Julie. Jacob says +1. Means he is also agreeing with Julie. Awesome. So why are you guys saying this isosceles? Because this side, let me name it as A, B, and C. AB is equal to PC, and where two sides are equal, that means it is nothing but isosceles triangle. And here it looks like an obtuse angle, so you can call it as obtuse isosceles triangle, or for now you can just call it as isosceles triangle. That's awesome. Frederick, did you understand it? Yep. Guys, just try to identify what type of triangle is this. I'll just put the markings. Jacob says scalene. Awesome, Jacob. Daniel says scalene as well. Julie, Frederick, which type of triangle is this? Frederick says scalene. Why? Because all the three sides are having different dimensions. Pythagorean theorem. Now, if you know about right angles or right angle triangle, there is something interesting when we need to find the hypotenuse, or if you want to find the third length, like let's say third length of the side, we need to use this Pythagorean theorem. So where exactly is this going to be used? This will be helpful for you, like very oftenly in your arithmetic reasoning part, and they might ask you this type of question in your math knowledge as well. So let's say if this is A, this is B, remember the hypotenuse is always the longest side and it is always opposite to the right angle. So we are going to get the length of this. So C square will always be equal to the sum of the square of other two sides. And it does not matter whether this is A or this is A. You can even interchange them. This can become A, this can become B. So A square plus B square should be equal to C square whenever it is a right angle triangle. So now, how do we find the hypotenuse? The longest side is known as the hypotenuse. So how do we basically find this hypotenuse, which is x. So what will I do now? X squared will be equal to 15 squared plus 8 squared. So 15 square means what? 15 times 15 plus 8 square means what? 8 times 8. So x squared equals 15 times 15 is nothing but 225 plus 8 times 8 is nothing but equal to 64. So what do you get? 5 plus 4 is 9. 2 plus 6 is 8 and 2 remains as it is. So x square is equal to 289. But we want to find the value of x, not x square. So taking square root on both sides, what do we get? X square equals to 289 square root on both sides. So the square root of x square is going to be equal to x, and the square root of 289 is nothing but 17. So what does square root means? 17 times 17 is equal to 289. So we can say the square of 17 is equal to 289 and the square root of 289 is equal to 17. Okay, I hope you guys understood what is Pythagoras theorem. Please take a screenshot if you want to study about it later, and we are going to solve one more question. Not we, you guys are going to solve it. Okay, let's move on. Guys, try solving this question. You have 2 minutes. Let us see if you can solve it. I'll just give you the equation. This is the hypotenuse. X square equals to 5 square plus 12 square. Solve it, come on. Daniel, Frederick, Jacob, Julie. You guys have 2 minutes. I have an answer already. Oh, Julie has answered, Daniel has answered. Jacob says 169. No, buddy. You need to take the square root of it. Daniel and Julie got it right. Frederick, do you want me to explain this again? Does anyone wants me to explain this question as well? Okay, Frederick says no. Solve it. Come on, buddy. Give me the answer, Frederick. Come on. What is the value of x? Jacob, you need to solve it again. Yep, Jacob got 13. Frederick, waiting for you. Frederick also says it is 13. I hope all of you understood what is Pythagoras theorem. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you want to study about it later. Let's move ahead. Now, this case scenario 2, whenever the hypotenuse is given and we need to find the length of one leg of the triangle, okay? So this is the hypotenuse. So I'll write it as 10 square equals to 6 square plus x square. So 10 square is nothing but 10 times 10, which is 100. 6 square is nothing but 6 times 6, which is 36, plus x square. I'll subtract 36 from both sides. What do I get? 64 equals to x square. Taking square root on both the sides. What do I have? X equals to 8. Therefore, the length of the missing leg is equal to 8 inches. I hope you understood this. If you want me to solve it once again, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, I think everyone understood it. Let's move ahead. Can you guys solve for x and give me the answer? First, you have 90 seconds. I already have an answer. Awesome, Jacob. It seems like the numbers are repeating. Julie says same 13. Frederick and Daniel waiting for you. Frederick says same. Awesome, guys. Now we are going to move on to an interesting topic, which is nothing but quadrilaterals. I want you to understand this topic very clearly because there are heavy chances that these questions might come into your exam, and these are very easy peasy lemon squeezy questions. I don't want you to lose your marks, or I don't want you to get these easy questions wrong. So try to understand everything and take the notes as much as possible. You can even take the screenshots and write down the notes later. So quadrilaterals. Basically, what are quadrilaterals? Quadrilaterals. Quad means four. Laterals means sides. So a polygon having four sides is nothing but a quadrilateral. Quad, four. Lateral sides. Four sides. Quadrilateral. Okay. Four sides, four angles, four vertices, and one pair of diagonal. Diagonals means what? The lines intersecting alternating points, alternating vertices, you can say. And this is very important. The measure of all the interior angles is 360 degrees. So what does that mean? That simply means if this is a quadrilateral, it can be of any shape. Remember this. Angle A, B, C, D. So A plus B plus C plus D will be always equal to 360 degrees only. The sum of interior angles of any quadrilateral is always 360 degrees. Any polygon having four sides will have its summation of interior angle equal to 360 degrees. Now, let us try to study about quadrilaterals. So here, we'll try to quickly review what are different types of quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals, four sides, four angles, four vertices, two opposite diagonals. Let's say two diagonals. So we have parallelogram. We are going to study about its property in some time. Under parallelogram, we have rectangle, rhombus, and square. Then we also have trapezoid. Under trapezoid, we have isosceles trapezoid and kite. So these are all the types of quadrilateral that we know and we're going to learn about in the next few slides. Types of quadrilaterals. Please take screenshots, okay, so that you can just study or revise about it later. So parallelogram. So basically, guys, parallelogram, it is a quadrilateral having opposite sides as equal. Now, if you remember, I told you there is a single mark over here, single mark over here. What does that mean? These two sides are equal. A double mark over here, a double mark over here. What does that mean? These two sides are equal to each other. So a parallelogram has two sides, two opposite pair of sides equal to each other and they are also parallel. So the sign or the symbol of parallel lines is an arrow. So if you see there is a single arrow over here, that means this line AB is parallel to line CD, and if there are two arrows over here, this line BC is parallel to line AD. So parallelogram basically has two pairs of opposite and equal sides. Whereas the angles are also opposite. What does that mean? If this is A, B, C and D, so angle A will be equal to angle C, single arc, and angle B will be equal to angle D. So parallelogram, I'll review again. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. Opposite angles are also equal. Okay, let's move on to the next type of quadrilateral. Rectangle. So rectangle is nothing but a parallelogram with each angle equal to 90 degree. So what does that mean? Opposite sides are parallel and equal and all the angles are 90 degree. So it just comes under the family of parallelogram, but having all the sides, all the angles equal to 90 degree. I'll repeat again. Opposite sides are parallel and equal and all angles are 90 degree in rectangle. Let's move on to the next quadrilateral, which is nothing but rhombus. Remember, rhombus has four sides equal to each other. Square also has four sides equal. But the main difference between the square and a rhombus is square has all angles equal to 90 degree, whereas rhombus does not have all angles equal to 90 degree. Opposite angles are equal. Rhombus has opposite angles equal, all sides equal. Whereas square has all sides equal and all angles equal to 90 degree. I hope you understood rhombus as well. If you guys have any doubt or if you have any questions, you can just stop me right away and you can put your query in the chat box. Now square, as I told you, it's a quadrilateral with four equal sides and four angles which are nothing but 90 degree. Let's move on. Trapezoid. So trapezoid is basically, it has a single pair of parallel lines. Okay, parallel sides are the sides which never intersect each other. They'll go on till the end, but they will never meet each other. So trapezoid will have a single pair which is opposite, will be parallel. Let's move on to the next. Isosceles trapezoid. So if you observe carefully, isosceles trapezoid means what? Trapezoid is basically a pair. Opposite pair will be parallel and the non-parallel sides will be equal to each other. So this symbol indicates equal. That means they are equal. Okay, let's move on to the next type, which is nothing but kite. So always remember, guys, A kite is nothing but a quadrilateral having two adjacent sides equal to each other. So this side equals to this side. I'll write it as A, B, C, D. So this side over here, AB is equal to AD and BC is equal to CD. Okay, I hope you guys understood what is a kite. And remember, the opposite angles are not always equal in kite. Let's move on. You guys can take a screenshot of this particular quadrilaterals slide so that you can print it out later and you can understand about it in details. This is very important, guys. You need to review it before your exam once. So I hope you have taken it and I'm moving on in 3, 2, 1 to the next slide. Okay. So this question has appeared in your sample papers of ASVAB. So let me solve one question for you and then you guys can solve it on your own. The figure above is what type of quadrilateral? So if I can see this side is equal to this side and this side is equal to this side. That means what? Two pairs of opposite sides are equal. That is what I can see at the first instant. The second thing what I can see, there are two arrows. What does that mean? This line is parallel to this line and this line is parallel to this line. So, two pairs of opposite sides are parallel as well. So, this is nothing but parallelogram. If you remember, two opposite sides are parallel and equal. So, the correct option is option D. Now, let's move on to the next question. And you guys are going to solve this. You have 60 seconds. Your time starts now. I already have an answer from Julie. Your answer is correct, Julie. Come on, Daniel, Frederick, Jacob. A parallelogram is nothing but a quadrilateral. Remember what I told you? Yep, Frederick says 360 degrees. Awesome, Frederick. Daniel, awesome. Jacob, awesome. So, a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, and a quadrilateral always has its interior angle equal to the sum of its interior angle is equal to 360 degrees. Let's move on to the next question. Guys, you have 45 seconds for this question. In this type of questions, you can just save your time in your ASVAB exam. Frederick, buddy, parallelogram has two opposite sides, equal and parallel. Only one side is parallel in this. One opposite pair is parallel. Parallelogram has both the opposite pairs parallel and equal. Here this is not equal, but this is parallel. So yes, it is C. It's a trapezoid. So single opposite side. If they are parallel, that means they are nothing but known as trapezoids. I hope you guys understood it. Yeah, this should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. The angles of all the quadrilaterals above are equal to what? I already have an answer. That was too quick. Awesome, Jacob. You got it right, buddy. Frederick, awesome. Daniel, awesome. All of you got it right. These are all nothing but right angles. Whenever you see any symbol like this, that simply means it is 90 degrees. This is nothing but 90 degree. Let's move on. Aha. Give me the answer to this question. Fast, ASAP. You have 30 seconds only. I already have two answers. Jacob says 360, Daniel says A only. That's correct. Because trapezoid is nothing but a quadrilateral. The sum of measures of all the angles, interior angles, is nothing but equal to 360 degrees in case of quadrilaterals. Yup. Now, we have finished the PPTs for this particular class, and the most interesting thing is now remaining. So we have last 15 minutes remaining. I am going to share with you guys my screen, and we are going to play a quiz before this class ends. So it is simply very easy quiz about identifying quadrilaterals. Okay, so I am going to share you the link of this. The link is in the chat box, guys, and the code is on your screen, which is 382676. Log in these particular details and then we can start the quiz. And let's see who is the champion of today's class. Oh, I already have a participant. His name is 382676. That's fine. Link is in the chat box, buddy. Jacob, if you want, I'll send it again. Yeah, if you see the chat box of Zoom, you'll get it. Yep, Daniel has joined. Come on, Frederick. Jacob, did you find the link, buddy? Oh, you can't see it yet. Can't see the link. Please go to the chat box of Zoom. You'll be able to see the link over there. Frederick, have you joined, buddy? I'm going to start the quiz in 3, 2, 1, and go. I still can't see. Okay, I'll just pause this. Hold on. I will end the quiz. I'll restart it, guys. Hold on. Here, let me, I'm copying the link. Oh, I mistake. I just sent it to Daniel by mistake. Can you guys see the link now? Sorry, guys. Oh, we have Frederick in the house. Come on, Jacob. Daniel, can you please log in again, buddy? We have Daniel in the house. Come on, guys. Let's rock it. Jacob. Who else is remaining? Julie. Okay. So let us start the quiz in 3, 2, 1, go. It's easy quiz, guys. You have to identify. Only Daniel is remaining now. Okay. I think everyone has completed the quiz. Here we have the winner of today's class as Jacob. Awesome, Jacob. Frederick, do you want me to help you out for solving this quiz questions? Or you'll figure it out on your own? Can you please write it down in the chat box? I can solve it with you after the class ends. We can just finish it off in 10 to 15 minutes after the class is done. Or else you can figure it out. I'll just send you the link of the quiz. Okay, guys, I will love you to help me. Sure, Frederick, no problem at all. I will solve the question with you. For now, I'll say bye to everyone else. And Frederick, you can just stay in the class. I'll solve it with you. Okay, guys, that was it for the day. I hope you enjoyed today's class. It was pleasure meeting you all, and I hope to see you tomorrow as well. Same time, same place. Thank you so much. Bye, Daniel. Bye, Julie. Bye, Jacob.